Hello, welcome to this place I talk about comic books. I'm going to dial in some branding and probably not a theme song, but maybe some type of logo or something at some point. This is all a work in progress, as we all are, I suppose. So I did not start this channel with the intention of doing any type of news. In my newsletter, I talk about the stuff that's happened during the week, and that's enough for me. It'll be rare that I chime in on whatever the bullshit of the moment is on this channel. But I wanted to talk briefly about the thing setting the comic book internet aflame today, which is a 30-second video of a gentleman from, I don't know the shop, forgive me, Palace, either Palace of Comics or Comics Palace, I think. Frankly, again, I'm not a reporter and it's not germane to what the thrust of what I'm saying, which is this fella, I've watched the video now a few times just to confirm what I'm seeing, is just having a little angry rant, as I do on this channel, and I'm sure as you do in your personal life, about the state of comics and what he doesn't like about it, seemingly, but also, as a retailer, what doesn't go, right? What doesn't sell. And there's been a lot of retailers giving their opinions lately. There's always a few that you can rely on to talk, right? And sometimes they have good points, but there's more and more that are just coming out of the woodwork to say, I have an opinion on this, and wait, I've observed this. And I think what I'm responding to here is the idea that we should, for some reason, write them off or dismiss and ignore them as cranks or worse. You know, I'm seeing people suggest terrible things about this fellow that certainly they don't know, right? This gentleman looks like the comic shop guy from The Simpsons. I don't think there's any reason to beat around the bush with that. I don't know that he'd take any exception to what I just said, because I'm sure he's heard that a lot. And frankly, I don't think it's necessarily an insult. I've been in a lot of comic book shops, and I've yet to encounter any male models. I get that when you disagree with someone and you want to undermine what they're trying to tell you, you attack their looks. I get it. I'm not above it, right? But not very helpful here. Let's just either examine the man's points or not, right? If somebody's criticizing work and not attacking anybody, there's no reason to circle those wagons. You don't have to affect a defensive posture when there was no attack. When you do that, you make the criticisms feel more salient. I shouldn't have to explain this to anybody, but comic book professionals a lot of times don't leave their houses, so maybe you don't understand what it's like to have a conversation with a real person. When you assume a defensive posture over nothing, it makes people suspicious of you. So that's A, that this is a suboptimal discourse, we'll call it. This is not helpful. With that out of the way, let's just examine what he's saying. The thrust of his little tirade is the current crop of writers do not have any reverence for what he calls comic books. He's referring to the fact that they don't seem to care about the history that was laid out before them, and in this case, characterization. The characterization of these existing characters, he says, is off in these new books because the writers are trying to insert themselves into the stories. They are, in his words, asking the question, what would I do if I was Steve Rogers, rather than what Steve Rogers would do? So I've watched this video several times, and I've looked for the dog whistles that some allege are there, and I've also tried to weigh the merit of his argument. Where is the lie? Again, with the circling the wagons phenomenon. Anytime we perceive an insult in comics, we have to rush to this idea that the fella is a bad guy. I don't hear any of that in this dude. I don't know what he's like. Don't lay beside him at night. Never even been to his store. But he does remind me of an awful lot of comic retailers that I've met in my life. And frankly, maybe 50% of comic book readers, of which I am one. So this man's opinion has to be taken seriously. You can disagree, certainly. You can say, I like the direction of comics. But what you can't do is deny that there is a direction. There's no reason to do that. If you think that there's merit to the current thing, if you think that the comics of today are a natural evolution and fascinating, or a radical departure and meritorious and interesting on that level, cool, cool. But there is a direction, right? There is a sensibility shift that has taken place over the last 10 years. I think that if we can't say that honestly, you look absurd. You don't look like a serious person. So it does seem to be the case in many big tube books that established characters are behaving differently. Is that good or is that bad? That's a conversation. Not a conversation is, no, that's not happening. The fuck it's not. This guy's been doing this for 30 years. I'm assuming he's been reading comics for 20 years longer than that. I've been reading comics, again, since I was 3. I can tell you that there has been a sensibility shift, which I'll do videos on this topic, but why is this sensibility shift met with such fortressing around the idea? Like, oh, no, we can't acknowledge that. The 90s were a sensibility shift. Everybody knows that. There was also a sensibility shift in the in the 2010s. There's a sensibility shift right now. Own it. If you like it particularly, I don't understand what there is to be defensive about. Now, this man is being critical, so maybe you feel attacked and you feel some need to deflect. But why not just meet him on his own level and say, sir, you are correct. There has been changes, and I love them. Why not say that? We don't need to disparage these guys. We don't need to we don't need to hand wave everything they're saying as some type of dishonest, agenda-driven nonsense. Everybody's walking into things with their own lens, certainly, but there's no reason to call a seemingly honest actor a liar because you don't like feeling judged. This man couldn't judge me. My books have probably not sold great for him. And if he said, hey, Patrick, you need to write more Batman because I can't sell what you write, I'd say, I'm sorry, comic book guy. I don't write the fucking Batman. It's not my vocation. It's not my thing. So why do you feel judged, I guess is the question. Why can't you say, sir, respectfully, we like comics as they are today. It's unfortunate that they're not selling. Hopefully we're going to find our level. Why tell this guy that, hey, 30-year retailer, you're not shit, you're a liar, you're politically deranged, and I hate your ugly face. The fuck utility does that have? Just meet the guy on his argument or disregard it and move on with your life. This disgusting attack on this fucking guy is completely unnecessary. He just said, hey, these books are fucking trash. God forbid. You're thinking it half the time. I don't run into a single comic book reader who doesn't hit me with some variation of, whoa, books are rough right now. Everybody knows. Circle the wagons. Around what? Around what? A naked emperor? Why can't we just say the thing? There's no politics in saying, hey, not currently good. It's not a political statement at all. Address the content of his argument or just keep it moving. Hopefully no one ever thinks about this again, honestly. If you are finding this as some type of capsule of data 200 years from now, I'm glad for you that you will have no idea what I'm talking about. Hopefully this video does not consume comics internet for another day. But goddamn, people, just be serious people. Can I ask that of you? Maybe I'll change the name of this fucking channel to Serious People. Just be serious people. Let's tackle the problems. Please. Some of the problems include craft. And really, all of the problems include the place where craft and commerce intersect. That's what this man's talking about. You can say, hey, sir, fuck you. I like it. It's allowed. Say that if that's how you feel. But you don't got to say, your eyebrow's goofy. The fuck kind of statement is that? Substance of the argument. Address it. That's it.